Africa has always been integrated. And this was truncated with the lines that were drawn at some point in time in our history. So I totally agree with you. And that is the start point, or that is one of our foundations for one of the foundations of our argument. So our research is basically focused on the water paradiplomacy situations or water diplomacy situations in the Lake Chad Basin. And in the context of this, we're looking at the new kid on the block, what we call the new kid on the block, the governors forums. So our intent, the research is ongoing, and our intent is to undertake an exploration of water governance framework within the LCB, which is the Lake Chad Basin. And currently, our thrust of our argument is that the presence of subnationals currently, which is the new kid on the block, under the auspices of the Governors Forum, is a deviation from what we used to know, the traditional, the orthodoxy. And this creates opportunity for, well, within the formal framework, opportunity for transboundary water paradiplomacy or water diplomacy. Okay, so Frita talked about a lot of conceptual theories and theoretical foundations, and which some of them, which is the last one he used the word paradiplomacy below, was something that he gave me a phrase for what we were thinking. So, but currently our research conceptualization and theoretical frameworks is built around these three concepts or theories: water governance, multilateral governance, and water paradiplomacy. So this is a disclaimer that we had to make, because currently the first output of the research is been reviewed, it's been accepted with corrections. And one of the query they brought up was, are we doing an assessment or an evaluation? So we're not doing an assessment, we're not doing an evaluation. We're just highlighting that there's a change. There's a change. And this change is bringing about a reconfiguration of what we used to know, or a recharacterization of what we used to know. So this is the Lake Chad Basin, or what is left of the Lake Chad Basin. It is obviously transboundary. It is actually multi-regional, if I want to use the word also multi-regional, because it spills into East Africa, some parts of the MENA region, North Africa, some part of Central Africa and Western Africa. And that little big blue part is what is left, or what they claim is left of the Lake Chad. Now, within this configuration, there are different nations, there are different tribes. The Africa we used to know didn't have these lines, and these persons were interacting and interfacing. But with the lines, we now see what Jonathan is referring to, creating boundaries. So in the region, what is important in the context of our discussions are the arguments, the positionalities, and the actors in relation to the region, in relation to the issue of our interest. There's ECOWAS, which is no longer what we used to know because of the emergence of the AES. That's the Alliance of the Sahel States. So in case for history purposes, ECOWAS used to be 15, but now ECOWAS has lots of members because of what happened in the Sahel states in the last two years. So Niger has left. So Nigeria says it's not part of the Alliance of the Sahel State. There's the ECCA, which is the Economic Committee of Central African States. There you have CAR, that's Central African Republic. You have Chad, you have Cameroon. These are also members of the Lake Chad Basin. Nigeria, who is now in AES, is part of the Lake Chad Basin, or what? Yes, it's still part of the Lake Chad Basin. Then we have the issue that we all know the region for, the issue of the restiveness, the insecurity, and the terrorism. There's the financial issues there, where they say the Francophones are still tied to the strong strings of Mother France. And then there's the equivalent of the ECOWAS coming from the Congo Basin, Okubangi, Shangi River axis. So these are countries that are connected to the Congo River. So they formed a parallel organization or parallel entity that is parallel to the Lake Chad Basin. Then we have Mother France there, we have Italy there. Now, Italy is kind of strange in this configuration as an actor because there is what's known as the Trans-Aqua project. The Trans-Aqua project is supposed to be a project that will bring water from the Congo River back into the Lake Chad to recharge it, because the Lake Chad is currently really shrinking at an alarming rate. So the design was to channel water, create a water highway. That's the word, create a water highway down from the Congo back into the Lake Chad. Now, that project, the seed for that project, or the initial thought for that project, came from Italy. It was suggested by an Italian entity. The whole project was designed and spoon-fed and to Africa, or to to the Lake Chad Basin Commission. So that's why Italy is there. Now, all these actors have different positionalities. They have different reasons and intentions for interacting within the Lake Chad Basin. Italy, for example, argues in one of the arguments is that the issue they are having with migration from the Sahel is because of the fact that the Lake Chad is dwindling, and because of its dwindling, people's livelihood are disappearing. So they are now migrating through the Sahel Mediterranean corridor up into Europe. So if they're able to give them the source of their livelihood, migration will reduce. Mother France is still there with this connection to the whole CFA area, or the Francophone Africa. The Cisco, which is the Congo Bangi Shangi River Union, they are arguing also that plan, or that the Trans-Aqua plan, may not be in their favor, or will not be in their favor, because taking water from the Congo River might not put them in harm's way. So all this creates a lot of polemics, a lot of positionality in the context of the Lake Chad Basin. And in all this, before now, states were not, quote unquote, subnationals, were not part of the actors. We had these people, we had nations, we have multilateral entities, the UN and everybody. We didn't have the subnational governments as part of the actors. But now with the emergence of the Governors Forum, the subnational government of the contiguous countries within the Lake Chad Basin, that is Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon, Chad, there's a fifth one. Now, they've now formed a sort of supranational, I want to use the word supranational entity, and that entity has now been invited into the conversation on issues that are surrounding and impacting on the Lake Chad Basin. Now, our argument, like we said, is that with this entity at the table, the whole dynamics is changing. It is not what we used to know. It is not pure Westphalia. It is not what pure sovereignty as we know anymore. And these have implications for the nation state. It has implications for the bigger Lake Chad Basin. It has implications for the objective of Lake Chad, as it were, of the Lake Chad Basin, of it, as it were. Now, this is the major output from
to mention that you have
research.
2 minutes left.
Yes, so I'm almost done. Thank you. So this is the major output from our research. Now, and this highlights what we are saying, that what used to exist was a sort of interaction between this previous existing supranational entity, which was the Lake Chad Commission Basin. I use the word previously existing supranational entity because it was existing above the state, or outside, larger than this national state as we know. Now, so that was the interaction, and so it was. But with the SNGs now, we find interactions that's the broken lines you see there are interactions which the presence of the SNGs at the table is creating. So now SNG in Niger can relate with an SNG in Cameroon officially now at the table at the Lake Chad, or with the blessing of ECOWAS, in matters that relate to the Lake Chad Basin, matters that relate to the resources of the Lake Chad Basin. An SNG can even go outside and relate with an international organization, the AU, the World Bank, they can relate with non-state actors officially at the table in all this as it relates to this matter. This did not exist before the creation of the Lake Chad Governors Forum. Now, so our argument is this presence, this creation, this entity is changing the rule of the game. And like Jonathan will say, and I'm adopting it today. It is taking us to where they were or where we were 100+ years before, because those subnational governments are the theater of action, quote and unquote. The activities in countries, in states happen at that level because they're closer to the people. So they now being at the table has taken us back to where we were 100+ years ago. So are we reinventing the wheel, or we're going back to what was organic for us? We'll find out soon. And so finally, we are not saying that it is bad. Yes, for some people, they say it is bad. We're not saying that it is bad, but it has benefits. And the benefits are primarily the fact that, one, most importantly, it creates a room for participatory formulation of a solution to the problem that we are facing in that region, whether the water situation, which is our focus, or probably the bigger problem or the other problem of the security, the strife and insurrection in the region. It has it also brings to the mind of people at that high level of the lower issues that they may overlook. Like Jonathan's research has also highlighted that with these people at the table, those issues that fall through the cracks are made very, very visible and prominent. Again, I think Fritz said so. It creates an opportunity for harnessing the hitherto unendorsed subnational or paradiplomatic actions. Harnessing it, directing it, shaping it, influencing it. This creates an opportunity for the state, as it is, to play that role. So on that note, we come to our end. So we'll wait for your questions.